Hello, my name is Suzanne Strickland, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about why I think VCU is a great choice for medical school, and also about my own story. I'm an emergency medicine physician, and I attended VCU both for medical school and for residency. VCU has allowed me to become a compassionate, caring physician who cares about the entire patient from the classroom to the hospital and out to the community. It has allowed me to fulfill my aspirations of becoming a physician who is entrenched in my urban community. It has allowed me to provide support for an underserved area right here in Richmond. My story begins at the first day of medical school when I came home and I threw my books on the couch and came outside to the new house that my husband and I found up in Church Hill, which is a community about a mile from here, right up the hill, and there were some children waiting out on my porch to hang out. Now, the area that we chose to buy a house in was one that has a rich history. It is the site of the largest local medical field hospital during the Civil War, and it has undergone a lot of changes over the years. It has many historic homes in it. Interspersed are multi-million-dollar homes over 150 years old. There's also abandoned houses, some not so great areas interspersed there, where we found a house that we could afford and that we wanted to invest in for the 4 years of medical school. As I stepped outside to greet this young man and women who were waiting for me to hang out, they wanted to come into my house and play checkers and bake cookies, and a after-school community started when I would come home from medical school. My neighbors would come over and hang out, and my husband and I soon realized that it became a little more than we could handle ourselves. I was trying to study and get things done, and the kids were wanting to come over pretty much every day. And we soon realized that we needed to do a little bit more. So we offered the kids to academic tutoring. We said, why don't you bring your backpacks after school and we will help you with your homework, thinking that this would dissuade them and that we would get less kids and less eager faces on our porch every day. However, our plan backfired and things grew and grew, and they brought more friends, and it spread by word of mouth, and soon we had over 150 kids come into our house every day after school for tutoring. So this was pretty exciting. I would bring my medical student friends over. It would be a great study break between studying for exams, and it was just a great outlet for people to meet some of the local children and patients that they would be seeing in the hospital. We soon started a nonprofit, which we called Church Hill Activities and Tutoring, and we have many activities that we do every day: tutoring, mentoring, cooking classes, workshop, woodworking, internships for local kids. We also have an academic high school called Church Hill Academy that we created for kids who are most at risk, who have failed out of the local public schools or have had drug problems or have had children for whatever reason could not attend the local schools. Some facts about this community: 82% of households are single parent, 37% of households are below the federal poverty line, 50% of enrolled ninth graders will not graduate. Less than 10% of high school graduates in my community go on to college, and there's up to 40% unemployment rate. Now, these statistics are staggering and should cause anyone great concern, let alone if you're a physician who've been educated and you understand the importance of following in that path and not turning your life over to drugs or other not so great things. So I wanted to tell you a couple stories of kids who I've worked with over the years that have really impacted me, both in the hospital and in my community. One is a young woman by the name of Sierra. She was living on the street by age 15 and found herself pregnant with nowhere to go. She ended up staying with some friends of ours through chat. And lo and behold, as I was a medical student on my OB rotation, she came in and in labor, and she was very scared, obviously, young teenage mom, and I was able to deliver her baby as a medical student and then follow up with her, help her get plugged in, local community, to her kid getting immunizations, helping her get a job. She has since got her own place to live, has a job, and has not had any more children since then, is on a good track for her life. Another story about a young woman named Essence, who I met when she started coming to our tutor. Her brother actually started coming to our tutoring program, and she was 12. Her mom was in jail. Her grandmother was an alcoholic, abusive, who she was living with, and she ended up getting pregnant, I think by no choice of her own. She was neglected and decided, once she found out that she was pregnant, that she wanted to carry the baby to term, even though her grandmother disagreed with her. She went through labor and was trying to breastfeed the baby, and unfortunately at 6 weeks the baby got sick with pertussis, which you may know of. There's been an increase in whooping cough due to adults' immunization status waning, and the baby was not yet due for immunizations, but ended up getting very sick, coming through the ER, going up to the pediatric intensive care unit, and dying on Christmas Day. Because of my relationship with her, she called me in. I was able to be with her and the baby actually that day when she passed. And since then, my husband and I have actually adopted her. She has completely changed the trajectory of her life. She is our star student at Churchill Academy. She does 3 hours of SAT prep every Saturday. She is a star of the dance team, and she has a whole community of people who care about her and are helping her to fulfill her dreams. One more story is a young man named Rashad, who I met, who just started coming to tutoring and only came twice. And then unfortunately, because he was 17 and he was already pretty involved in the drug trade and with some other not great crowd, he had dropped out of our tutoring program and dropped out of high school and started selling drugs. Now, the next time I encountered him was also as a medical student in the trauma bay, when he came in with a gunshot wound, crying and really just scared that he was going to die. Instead of seeing him as just another face of somebody coming through the trauma bay, which can happen, I recognized him, and after he was medically stabilized, was able to talk to him, was able to get him involved in other community activities that were positive, and he has since started working at Jiffy Lube, has stopped selling drugs, and is also headed in the right direction. I have many more stories about all of my time over the past few years, both in Churchill and working in the emergency department on the follow-up that I see of my neighbors. But the main thing that I want to emphasize to you all is that our oath as physicians are to heal those who are the most broken. We went into this field because we wanted to make a difference in others' lives through healing of the entire person. And this means caring for those who are the most broken, caring about places that others forsake, and we pay attention to the most wounded when others look away. I've been able to do this through my time at VCU and have developed a passion for underserved communities, have developed a love for the Richmond people and for the area that VCU serves. Now, you may choose to live in the suburbs or in any of the wonderful places that Richmond offers, or you may choose to be crazy like me and live in the midst of the chaos and love your job every day and love your neighbors every day because of how much they have taught me and how much they continue to teach me about what it means to survive and what it means to truly heal the entire person.